This just in. Stephen King has just hit out on Donald Trump, calling the former president's FBI claims a big lie. In May, Trump had accused President Joe Biden of authorizing the FBI to use deadly lethal force against him in a post on Truth Social. On Sunday, King took on X to slam Trump's claims. Let's take a look at these claims, so come on, let's go. Stephen King has been a longtime critic of Trump. 6 years ago, Trump blocked the writer on Twitter. Stephen King had claimed that the move was illegal and that Trump wasn't allowed to block anyone on Twitter. Recently, King again hit at Trump, challenging his FBI claim. In May, Trump had accused President Joe Biden of authorizing the FBI to use deadly lethal force against him in a post on Truth Social. Trump referred to the FBI's search of his Mar-a-Lago home in August 2022. Trump is accused of removing and storing classified documents at the Palm Beach resort after exiting the White House. He was charged with retaining national security documents in June 2023.
President Trump calling out President Biden after learning that his administration authorized the use of deadly force during the FBI's 2022 raid on Mar-a-Lago during the classified documents probe. According to this filing, the DOJ and the FBI agents plan to bring standard issue weapons, ammunition, handcuffs, and medium and large-sized bolt cutters. They were also instructed to wear unmarked polo or collared shirts and to, quote, keep law enforcement equipment concealed. Trump posted on Truth Social this: crooked Joe Biden's DOJ, in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, authorized the FBI to use deadly force. Now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment, writes President Trump.
Trump had just written on his Truth Social, crooked Joe Biden's DOJ, in their illegal and unconstitutional raid of Mar-a-Lago, authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force. Trump wrote, now we know for sure that Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He's mentally unfit for office. 25th Amendment. On Sunday, King took to X to slam Trump's claims. Stephen King has 7.1 million followers on Twitter. Trump's claim that FBI agents were authorized to shoot him down is a big lie, the 76-year-old wrote, with his post receiving over 601,000 views at the time of publishing. According to an Associated Press fact check, the term use of deadly force was featured in the operation order for the Mar-a-Lago raid. However, the line is a standard Department of Justice policy appearing in search documents and the DOJ manual. The policy is designed to mitigate the use of deadly force as much as possible and does not suggest that Trump is being targeted.
After Donald Trump accused the DOJ of authorizing the FBI to use deadly force in their search of Mar-a-Lago, the FBI is pushing back on the former president's claims.
That's right. The FBI released this statement saying it followed protocol. It's standard for search warrants to include a standard policy limiting the use of deadly force. The statement says no one ordered additional steps be taken and there was no departure from the norm.
The Associated Press and FBI pushed back against Trump's claims, proving that there was truth to Stephen King's rebuttal. However, Stephen King wasn't the only one refuting Trump's claims. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland aggressively refuted a wave of accusations of weaponizing the justice system. Merrick Garland has been a longtime federal judge and a Supreme Court nominee for former President Barack Obama. Garland took over the Justice Department intending to restore its independence from the White House, but instead has been facing some of the most politically sensitive legal cases in recent history. He has repeatedly vowed to follow the facts and the law along the way, but has been unable to limit criticisms about how he and the department he runs have gone about the cases. I will not be intimidated, Garland has said, and the Justice Department will not be intimidated. We will continue to do our jobs, free from political influence, and we will not back down from defending democracy.
Can I do one at a time? Okay. On that one, that allegation is false, and it is extremely dangerous. The document that is being referred to in the allegation is the Justice Department standard policy limiting the use of force. As the FBI advises, it is part of the standard operations plan for searches, and in fact, it was even used in the consensual search of President Biden's home.
Garland refuted the claim made by the former president that the FBI had approval to assassinate him during the search of Mar-a-Lago in the classified documents case, noting that it was standard language in serving warrants and was also included in a search of Biden's home. After Garland's rebuttal, little credibility was left to Trump's claims. However, Republicans continue to criticize the use of deadly force against the former president.
This is a former president of the United States under Secret Service protection. Maybe you shouldn't use standard procedure. Maybe you go, if it was even necessary to get a warrant, you go there and you execute the warrant in the lightest way possible. And you juxtapose that with the way Biden was treated basically like a child when he's caught with classified documents. Instead of immediately doing a search warrant, they let him just bring them, repeatedly bring them to the FBI at their convenience. There was no search warrant. There was no agents running in. And even though they knew Biden never had any business having these documents, trickled them out at a very suspicious time, and they kept finding more and more of them, and they treated them quite a bit differently. So the FBI really, it's like the most heavy-handed approach with Donald Trump and the lightest possible touch with President Biden.
Most Trump supporters criticized what they assumed was the different treatment given to President Biden. On the show Morning with Maria, Jonathan claimed that President Trump had been dealt a heavier hand compared to President Biden. He claimed that President Biden was given presidential treatment in a case similar to that of President Trump. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Rep. Paul Gosar were also among the critics. Marjorie Taylor Greene had posted in May on her X account. In the tweet, she criticized the Department of Justice and FBI in extremely harsh words.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is part of, this would actually be funny if it wasn't so stupid and dangerous. Yesterday, files were unsealed in the Trump stolen documents case. They revealed that when the FBI searched Mar-a-Lago in 2022, the agents were authorized to use deadly force if necessary, which is standard operating procedure whenever the FBI execute a search warrant. But in the MAGAverse, it is a plot to kill Donald Trump.
Jimmy Kimmel called Marjorie Taylor Greene out on his show. He showed with facts and logic that the claims Trump and his supporters were making were not in touch with reality. He further explained how dangerous these allegations were for the Department of Justice and the Federal Board of Investigation. Inspired by Trump and Marjorie, Paul Gosar, too, took to his X account to bash the DOJ and FBI. He posted on his X account in May and repeated the allegations that Biden, the FBI, and the Department of Justice were conspiring to assassinate Mr. Trump. Paul Gosar and his allegations were challenged by a Democrat lawmaker in the following video.
On August 9th, at Judiciary, GOP tweeted, "The IRS is coming for you. The Department of Justice is coming for you. The FBI is coming for you. No one is safe from the political punishment in Joe Biden's America," close quote. And on that same day, my colleague, Representative Gosar, my Republican colleague, called the FBI, quote, "the enemy of the people," and tweeted, "We must destroy the FBI," close quote.
We've learned so far that Stephen King, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and several other reliable sources have proven that allegations by Trump were false. Even then, Stephen King had to face the backlash on his tweet. Let's look at some of the tweets that disagree with Mr. King's point of view. The user Buzz Patterson replied to King's tweet, "It's the warrant, imbecile. Read something." User Sweet Carolina TV wrote, "Remember when Hunter's storage locker was about to be raided, but the FBI tipped him off and it was cleared out? Try reading instead of writing fictional posts." Although both sides had their reactions to Stephen King's tweet, it seemed that after the Department of Justice and FBI released statements denying Mr. Trump's allegations, little credibility was left to the allegations. That's it for today, folks. Stay tuned for more news analysis. God bless America.